Thanks, Steve. Loads and loads of resources there. And I think the way the British Council helps us manage these is really important. Like the newsletter that Steve mentioned in focusing on some, the themes, the bi-monthly or 3-monthly themes. This actually helps us with all the resources because otherwise it's too much. And this is focusing on specific things that we need to help us to find our way through all these resources. So if you saw those resources for next year, a lot of them are focusing on understanding. And this is like a deeper look at, digging deeper into some of these topics that you may think you understand teaching, but I don't think we can ever understand it because it's working with language and working with humans, and they are always different. So we really need to go deeper in our understanding of the context, understanding of the learners, understanding of teaching. Yeah, so it's not about going through a checklist and just ticking off a course or reading an article. It's about helping them to actually helping us to integrate them into our teaching and helping our students to learn better, which is, of course, the main idea. So here are some ideas of what you can do, what we can all do with all these resources. On the left, some things that we can do alone. Some teachers prefer working alone. And the great thing about all these resources is that there are so many different types of resources that suit different contexts, different people, different individuals. And if you work alone, you could, for example, plan each week to look up, try out, or think about one new lesson plan or one article, one podcast. You can keep a diary of events and all the resources you've used and what you've learnt and look back on that. That's a nice way of working through them alone. But where all these resources really come into their own is working with others. And I know lots of you are members of teacher associations. Teacher associations are really powerful in getting learners to learn together and learn more, far more together than alone. For example, on the right, we've got lots of ways of working together with others. If you have a publication, maybe there's 10 chapters, it's going to take you a long time to read and digest all those chapters. If you divide it up between 10 teachers and everybody reads one chapter, then you meet together face-to-face or online. You can all share it briefly or summarize, and you all get to benefit from the whole publication. The same you can do with the podcasts. Take one podcast each, 10 different ones, share them. It saves you so much time and you're expanding your learning. And of course, the same with lesson plans, articles, webinar recordings. And that's a brilliant thing of working together with other teachers. Another really good way of working with other teachers, whether in a teacher association or in your school or something, is watching one of the recordings of the webinar and pausing every 5 minutes or so to discuss it. And this is how you can really get into the ideas of what people are saying, what it means to you, how you can adapt it to your own context. Because, of course, these resources and the ideas, maybe they work in one context, maybe they need to be adapted to work in your context. And that's perfectly fine. You have to be able to adapt them and see how you can make them better for your own students. There is a system here that you could use, the traffic light system, in adapting lesson plans and activities. You can have a little discussion with some other people about some lesson plans and agree on what is red, the top of the traffic light. No, you can't do that in your context. Maybe it'll take too long. You haven't got the technology. The vocabulary is too difficult. So maybe no, red. Maybe some of the points in the lesson plan or the activity are yellow and they are okay, but you might need to change them or adapt them a bit, teach more vocabulary, translate into your local language, for example, or take more time. And then red, yellow, green at the bottom of a traffic light. Of course, you have green, and those are the bits that you can just go straight for and go. So this is a nice annotation system that you can use in a group, and make sure you put the traffic light on the resource so that other teachers can learn from what you've discussed. Okay, and the final one there is sharing what you've learned in newsletters, in WhatsApp groups. And as I know, lots and lots of teacher associations already do, carry on. Yeah, writing articles about them, making very short videos about how you've tried out something, how it's worked in class, sharing them in a WhatsApp group is a brilliant way to learn from each other.